Welcome back to Tux Traveler, and today we want to talk a little bit more about some food storage items. So one of the things that I don't like about my current van build is that I only have a single refrigerator that it's basically one of the deep seat refrigerators. So it's not massively large, it's not too small, it's generally good enough. However, it has a hard time keeping food good for a long period of time. And that is certainly one of the concerns. In the future, I may upgrade to something where I have a freezer and a refrigerator. Now, this model is able to be run as a freezer, but I found it uses so much energy to do that, it's not efficient to do so. So there's certainly better models I can get that are more efficient. But I came up with this idea to try, and so this is the beginning of an experiment, and we'll see how well it goes. So what I came up with is, in Pennsylvania, if you remember when I did the video on the Pennsylvania Grand Canyon, I'll go ahead and link that here. I talked about I like getting the chicken that is all individually wrapped. I'd buy this bag of it and there's like 5 or 6 pieces of chicken and each one of them is individually wrapped. Those last a whole lot longer than when I get regular chicken, put it in containers, and then go from there. And so what I came up with, now here's the challenge, once I left Pennsylvania, I've never seen those chickens again. So I don't know where they went. But you can buy at Walmart a food saver. And I've never tried these out, but I've looked into them, and this one I believe is one of these smaller models. There's larger ones, smaller ones. This one's a little bit of a smaller model. They use about 95 watts, and you don't use the wattage for a long period of time. Very short period of time. So the question is, if I get one of these and I get the chicken and then I go ahead and wrap it myself in a vacuum bag, will it last just as long? And then if that works, let's go ahead and buy frozen chicken in the individuals, which I can find, and then shrink those, and that will actually increase the efficiency of the freezer while those are slowly thawing over the course of the next few days. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to walk through this guy here. I'm going to open up a pack of chicken, and usually I would just put it in any random container, put it in the refrigerator. But once you open this package, once you buy this package, you only have about 4 or 5 days, absolute max, to use that. So I'm going to go ahead and use this and put most of the chicken in here because I will be using it over the next couple of days. And then I'm going to put 1 or 2 inside of a vacuum seal pack. And then after this, I'm actually literally going to let 1 piece of chicken here go bad. I'm going to see how long it takes. And then a day after that, we're going to open up the vacuum sealed chicken and see if that is still good or not. So let's go ahead and start by opening up the food saver and seeing what all is in here. Okay, so here we have what is in the box, and I think my friend opened this up to check the wattage, and I think gave me a few of the extra bags. We'll go into those in a moment. That's just what I think happened here. Somebody gifted this to me after I talked about wanting to do this experiment. So we have the device here, and there's the operate and there's the open button. So hit the open button, you can take this guy out. This is, I guess, a trap for the moisture, and then this seal down here is where things are going to seal up. So you're going to slide it in there, push this guy down. This is where you store it, and then you do this to operate it. We have a vacuum button here, which is going to pull out all of the air, and then we have a seal button that's going to heat that up. And so that way we should get a good vacuum sealed package here. And so looking at the bottom down here, sorry you will not be able to see it, you're going to have to take my word for it, down over here in the box, it's telling me that this is a 90 watt device. 90 watts is perfectly fine for any van lifer's inverter. Now the type of device this is, I'm not 100% sure, but I would recommend make sure that you have a pure sine wave inverter. A device like this where you have an AC plug plugging directly into the back like this usually is going to want a pure sine wave inverter, not a modified sine wave inverter. So let's go ahead and see how this guy works, because I've never used one. We're going to use it together at the same time. All right, so as far as our bags are concerned, these I think usually just come with a couple sample bags, and then I think my friends gave me these other ones. So these ones are the small sample bags here. See, they're creased on either side and they're open on one end. And these actually might be too big for me for this experiment. So I might cut these in half, because what you can get, here's a bigger version of the same thing. What you can get is these. And you can grab these ones from online, and they are just open all the way across. You start with sealing the bottom, cutting it to size, and then sealing it again. And so I think that's actually what we're going to do with one of these small bags. We're just going to cut it in half already. And since this is the first time and I messed it up, no big deal. It's going to give me a chance to test how the sealing part works. So now this one's nice and put together. This guy here is open on both ends like that. So we'll open it up. Just going to set this guy right on the seal part. See if I can figure out how to get this guy to seal properly. Operate. And it's going to push the seal, and it should stop when it's done. And it seems to have stopped. We're going to hit the open. And now the bottom of the bag is very much sealed. So let me open it up. And that works great. So let's go ahead and open up our chicken and put one in there. Now, what I've been warned about is to make sure that you have taken out all of the moisture as possible. So we're going to start by just grabbing a piece of chicken here. And these are really small, so I'm going to do 2 of these in a single bag. And I'm going to grab some paper towels from down here, just because handling the raw chicken like that. Okay. All right, so now what I should do is put this lip over here, close this down on top of that, hit operate, vacuum first. And then hit the vacuum button, and then once it's detected all the evacuation is out, it's going to seal. And then now the seal, it looks like it is in the process of sealing as we speak. And it looks as though it's done, so we're going to open up. And there we have a vacuum sealed chicken pack. So hopefully this will last a long time. So that's going to be the experiment. So I might go ahead and date these guys. I'm going to use a Sharpie here, and I'm just going to go ahead and date it. And my watch is low in battery, so I can't tell the date, but I'm pretty sure it's 12/31 when I'm recording this. Not sure when you guys are seeing this, but that's what we're doing. So I'm just going to pop these guys into the refrigerator. So that is how simple the device is to use. First time I've ever used it, and that's it. It looks pretty simple. So hopefully that works, and we'll be able to test how long does that keep things warm, cool and good and preserved. And then, of course, once you think it's on the verge, you can cook it up, reseal it, and that'll keep it even longer once it's been cooked as well. So hopefully this will allow me to get my chicken, more time out of my chickens, out of my meats, and things like that. So how much are these guys? I've seen them as low as about $40. So if this little device saves me that much on food cost, the $40 plus the cost of these bags, and you can grab cases of these on Amazon. They're pretty cheap. I haven't looked into how much they are. But that will be an absolutely amazing cost-saving device, and it doesn't take up a lot of room. And as far as the power, it's not a significant amount of power. You saw I did 2 of them in just a matter of a few minutes. So I'll let you guys know. I'll record the second half of this video in a few days, maybe a week or so, and I'll see how good is this chicken after the other stuff has been sitting in my standard old container in there for a little bit of time. So we'll see. Well, I've put the chicken in this bin almost a week ago. It will be a week tomorrow, so this has been in here for 6 days, and it smells like if I don't use it today, it's going to go bad. And so we're going to use that today, just because I don't want to waste food, especially being on the road. But just be aware, if I did not use this today, tomorrow it would be thrown out. You can smell it's just on the verge. I'm also going to make sure I cook it extra thick. Now yesterday I used one of the packs of chicken that I had sealed, and that was perfectly fine. So the next one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop that one in there, and I'm actually going to let that sit in there for 1 or 2 more days, probably until Saturday, to give it an extra day in there. And that's going to see, can I extend the life of the chicken 2 or 3 days as opposed to just putting it in a basic storage container. So we'll see what that looks like in a couple of days. All right, the moment of truth. This is the next test. So to sum this up, I bought this chicken last Thursday night near the end of the day. On Friday, I vacuum sealed the chicken. As I had mentioned, the one inside the container, I had to use it by, I think Friday. When did I use it? I think I used it on Thursday. So I skipped a day, and then now this is 2 days later, so this is Saturday. So now I had this chicken, and I purchased it thawed, and I purchased it now 9 days ago. Let's see if it still smells good. Yeah. And then looking at the juice down here, it doesn't look horribly cloudy. I probably wouldn't hold it too much longer, but this means that I can buy chicken pieces and vacuum seal them down and save them quite a bit longer than I've been able to. Yeah, it doesn't smell bad at all. So that's a really good test. Now what I just did at the store today is I bought frozen chicken. So I took the frozen chicken, vacuum sealed those. So those should last even longer, and they will also help to reduce power by keeping the refrigerator colder for a longer time while they are in the process of thawing. So we'll see how that goes. And not all of them sealed properly just because of how big those pieces are. I might still stick to something like this just because the frozen ones are huge, more than I need. In fact, I might have to get them and cut them, but that defeats the purpose of frozen. But anyway, we'll see how long I can keep the frozen chickens in there. We'll see if I can keep those up to like 2 weeks. So we'll do a test on those. So anyway, the vacuum sealer is an absolute success. If you're looking for a low power, low cost way to keep food fresher longer, that works. It's a small device. It uses fairly low amounts of power. And so the reality is, yeah, these are interesting devices, and they will help you keep your food costs down, in my opinion. So thanks for coming along on this edition of Tux Traveler. Leave any comments you have down below, and we will see you a little bit further down the road.